With this article, we hope you see the Danio fish in a whole new light. It's time for your typical type of tropical freshwater aquariums to get acquainted with some more intelligent and sensitive species. Do you need a heater for Danios? We've been told so much that Danios are tropical fish, but we never really know how hardy and adaptable they can be. The truth is, these little guys live in hot weather as well. You are reading, Do Zebrafish Need a Heater? The truth is, Danios can live in areas where room and ambient temperatures don't fall below 60 degrees Fahrenheit. The safest cold water temperature would be around 68 degrees Fahrenheit, 20 Celsius. Heating your home provides a steady environment for the aquarium so much that you may not need to put heater in there. As long as it's comfortable enough with no drastic changes from morning till evening or night time, then these fish are sure happy too. Won't Danios get sick in cold water? One of the most important things you can do for your fish is to make sure it has a stable environment. This will not only keep them healthy, but also ensure that they don't get shocked when temperature fluctuations occur, which could compromise their immune systems and leave some with potentially fatal diseases. It's easy enough, all we need are more tank mates, who like bonding as much as our little friends do. So let us know if this sounds good, or gives any ideas on how best suit yourself a fishmate combo. See more. This is the reason why you should always keep your aquarium near a vent, window or heater. The cold draft will cool down water considerably, and might even cause freezing during winter months if not careful. But as long as it stays around 65 degrees Fahrenheit, 18 Celsius. These fish are just fine with their environment, coming from places like Asia where temperatures average 78 degrees Fahrenheit, but can dip below 50 degrees Fahrenheit, at times of rain season called monsoon conditions. Your fish will be just fine as long as you have access to some hot water and blankets. The key thing about these emergency measures is that they should only need those items for a short period of time, and even then, it's best not overdo the heat source since too many fluctuations can cause stress in any living creature. Heaterless tank conditions for the Danio. The Danios need more than just a heater if you want them to be healthy. The best way is by adding some aquarium salt and keeping the water at 75 degrees Fahrenheit or 24 Celsius, which will make sure that their ecosystem stays balanced without any problems. The fish needs certain nutrients in order for its organs, such as gills, function properly, so add foods like zucchini leaves towards this end goal. They provide extra strength, while being nutritious enough even without food otherwise available all day long, because these small creatures don't have much room left within themselves when growing. Component number 1. A big enough tank. Water is one of the most common substances found on Earth, and it has a lot going for its density. That being said, water takes longer than air to change temperature, so even if you have an aquarium with more space in, it will retain heat better. It would be best not to sudden fluctuations that could cause instability or injury from hot spots. A larger volume provides stability when discussing heating issues, because bigger tanks can regulate their own internal warmth more easily without having any rapid changes, which might lead someone who isn't familiar enough about these matters mistake what they were doing as accidental. While it's possible to keep fish without heaters, most types prefer schooling and will fill up your tank with lots of friends. For this reason, a 40 to 55 gallon size would be best if you want plenty room for plants or other additions like aquatic creatures that don't need regular watering ropes. Component number 2. Whether that doesn't go to extremes, your home heating will make it easier to keep a heaterless tank regardless of where you live. The key here is consistency, so consider this if want to leave for long vacations, or turn off the heat when leaving work early in order not too cold an environment, because these fish are susceptible during those times. You can keep your tank warmer by surrounding it with insulation, and don't forget the lid, because these fish are jumper. The lids help reduce heat loss too quickly, so if you're worried about less oxygenation, just add an air stone. It's also worth getting acrylic over glass, as they retain warmth better, which will ensure their safety more than ever before, especially during winter months, when temperatures dip below freezing point 00 degrees Fahrenheit. Which variety of Danios can do well without a heater? Danios are great fish for beginners and experienced aquarium owners alike. They're not as picky when it comes to their environment, making them excellent candidates in a variety of settings, from freshwater setups with soft water conditions or acidic pHs down through saltwater aquaria, where you can keep them around coral reefs without fear they'll harm any living thing nearby. In fact, there's such an array available that choosing just one might prove difficult. Don't worry though, because we've compiled this list below highlighting some particularly interesting varieties. Number 1, Celestial Pearl Danios. Danio varieties come in all shapes and sizes, but the Galaxy Rasbora is one of those that stands out for its small size. With an interesting pattern on their bodies, as well as beautiful colors like reds or oranges to choose from, these little fish can be found thriving inside nano tanks, with heavily planted environments perfect enough by themselves without additional equipment like heaters or filters. Number 2, Glow Light Danios. With its colorful hues of red, orange and yellow, this fish is a sight to behold. The smaller than average size makes it perfect for keeping in small tanks with other similarly sized species like zebras or tinfoil heads. One thing that sets these guys apart from their bigger counterparts: they prefer feeding at the surface, where you can usually find them grazing on plants growing among rocks. Instead, salmon propagate some glow lights today, if you're looking for an interesting addition. Number 3, Zebra Danios. Zebrafish are hard to miss, with their black and white stripes. They are not just an adorable choice for hobbyists. Zebrafish have been chosen as the first glowfish variety because of how well they survive in tanks. You can read all about this fascinating creature here in our article on them. I hope you found today's blog post helpful. Number 4, Pearl Danios. The Pearl Danios are different than other varieties of this fish. Unlike the others, they do not need to be in a school and can live happily together with just 1 or 2 individuals per tank. But you should keep them away from groups unless you're willing to provide more room for these bigger tanks. Take a look at some important information about these Danio varieties. CPD Glow Light Zebra Pearl size 1 inch 1.4 inches 1.5 inches 2.5 inches lifespan 3 to 5 years 3 years 3.5 years 3 to 5 years temperature 65 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit 65 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit 65 to 78 degrees Fahrenheit 65 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Schooling: yes yes yes. No water column. Middle top and middle pH 6 to 7.8 6.3 to 7.5 6.2 to 7.2 6.5 to 7.2. When is a heater necessary? Condition number 1. Danios can tolerate a temperature of up to 82 degrees Fahrenheit, but this is only for when you're treating them for ICH. If you have a high temperature, it's important to get your fish treated right away. The ICH parasitism can cause much discomfort and even death for Danios that are infected with these organisms. But thankfully, our team of experts has created an effective treatment plan, which includes aquarium saltwater changes along with the adoption into new tanks or additional heat sources such as hoods around their Thornton housing unit. Condition number 2. You can raise the temperature to 80 degrees Fahrenheit if you're preparing for them to breed. Conditioning Danios to breed requires you bring potential parents into a breeding tank with fresh water and then raising the temperature. They should also be fed protein-rich food, which increases their hormone levels so they become fertile at just 1 or 2 weeks after conditioning, when females lay eggs dawn while males fertilize them in bulk populations like right now. The Danios are small fish that can be kept in a variety of water conditions, but they thrive when it's between 60 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit. If you keep your aquarium at colder temperatures than this range, however, such as below 50, make sure not to raise them any further than 10 degrees Fahrenheit, or else the addition might cause sickness. A gradual increase by 2 to 3 hours every day is recommended for best results with these fighters. Just remember not to slow down either rate, because sudden changes could kill off an already weakened specimen. Fighter pilots always want more power, and we. Lastly, Danio rerio, the tropical fish that can live in colder waters. Yes, compatibility with goldfish and other freshwater tropical species like koi or cichlids is possible, even though it may sound shocking at first glance due to their temperature preference overlap territory limit. Full story. A new study has found evidence showing how these two popular pet breeds originated from each other 90,000 years ago, according in molecular clock analysis conducted on DNA samples provided by enthusiast collectors around world who keep both types of Liftis, a type genus encompassing more than 100 plus species alive today.